Welcome to It's a Grand Life, where our mission is to be a voice for grand families and kinship caregivers everywhere. Did you know that in the United States alone, there are 2.3 million grandparents raising their grandchildren? 2.3 million. It's a Grand Life is committed to making a difference for those kids. That's why we have the podcast, a Facebook group, and the Grand Fund. The Grand Fund, which is a 501c3 which was launched in June of 2024, provides financial assistance to grand families, including shelter, food, clothing, and household needs. Grand families are in every neighborhood, in every city, every tribe, and territory nationwide. If this is you or someone you love, we're here for you, and we welcome you to join us on this mission. Our goal is to offer hope and resources to help you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us wherever you get your podcasts and leave a review. You can also join our Facebook group. Just search for it under It's a Grand Life. And your reviews, comments, and sharing of our podcasts help us reach others that need assistance. Welcome to another episode of It's a Grand Life. Hi, my name is Craig Nash, and would like to welcome you to another It's a Grand Life. And I absolutely think you're going to be blessed with our interview today. We've got Bethany Crane, who's the Special Needs Director at Ward Church, and they've got a phenomenal program for neurodiversity affirming therapy. And remember, 2 weeks ago on the program, It's a Grand Life, we had Jennifer Kaufman, who is a grandparent who wrote a book called Grandparenting on the Spectrum. So if you listen to Jennifer's interview, and now you're going to listen to Bethany's interview, it's all going to make sense. You're going to have the philosophy behind this, as well as a center that's providing this awesome therapy right here in Southeast Michigan. So Bethany Crane, welcome to It's a Grand Life. Thank you so much for joining us today. And this is so exciting, the work you're doing, and it's absolutely a total blessing for our audience, which are grandparents of children with autism. We see so much autism today that folks are dealing with, and really, can you give us a little background on how the Be Me Center came together and how you got involved in all this at a church?
Right. Thank you, Craig, for having me on. I'm so excited to talk about this. Yes, the Lord brought me to Ward Church in 2021,
Okay.
and that was my first time ever in the missions field. So it was a little new to me, but I have a background in behavioral analysis as a behavior therapist. So I had worked with children with autism previously, and I knew the Lord had something planned, and I had previously worked with a team of therapists that were just really kind of unhappy what was going on in Michigan in terms of therapy for these special children. So all came about really with the Spirit's leading to create the Be Me Center. And it's located inside of Ward Church, and we presented it to the church, and the church was fully on board with it as it is a faith-based mission. And we really believe that the Lord creates these children to be exactly who they are, not a problem, not something to be fixed, but something to be celebrated and something to really support. And the church really supported the mission, and they continue to support the mission.
So tell us specifically about the Be Me Center. What type of therapy is it? I know it's very unique, and I know our audience would love to hear more about it.
Yes, I would love to. So the Be Me Center is located inside of the church. It is a play-based therapeutic preschool for neurodiverse children ages 2 to 6. Our mission really is to really help the children to be seen, to be celebrated for who they were created to be, and really to be supported for exactly who they are, not try to be fixed. So we have an integrative team of therapists that work daily with the children in our Monday through Friday program. We have a morning and afternoon, and that integrated team is made up of behavior therapists, which is also known as a BCBA. We have an OT therapist in the classroom, a speech therapist, and a teacher who also has a background of therapy. So you really have 4 therapists working with 6 children in the classroom on a daily basis. In addition to that, we have music therapists that come once a week,
Wow.
and we have counseling and provide parent support groups on a weekly basis in our center. So we have seen a lot of really great progress with our kids. And we are a faith-centered environment, and we do run like a typical preschool with snack time, outside time, and we just went on our first field trip and it was super successful.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. So, do you have two different sets of kids, a morning class and an afternoon class, or are they just all day long?
Yes, we have 6 kids in the mornings and
Okay.
6 children in the afternoons. And we still have some spots available right now, but that's the max that we can take. And just based on therapy and research, that is the most appropriate for children of this age.
So, for those of us who aren't therapists,
Right.
what does neurodivergent mean?
Right. So thinking about neurodivergent, you really just kind of want to break down the word. Neuro really meaning your brain, and
Okay.
divergent really meaning different. So when you're talking about neurodivergent, it really means a brain that just works really different than other brains would work, right? So it's not something that's wrong or a problem. It's just really different. They process the world very differently, and really under that name, it's a newer term that you'll kind of see thrown around. But when you're thinking of a neurodivergent child, you're thinking about somebody with a diagnosis of autism,
Okay.
maybe ADHD, maybe dyslexia, maybe a sensory processing disorder, or any other different unique ways that the child's brain processes the world coming in.
What I like that you explained to me before when we were preparing for this, you said something like, or maybe it's something I read. It's not something a child has; it's something they are. Could you explain
Yes.
that a little bit?
Yeah, so we don't believe that a child just has some sort of disease or problem of autism. We believe that they were created that way. So it's something that they don't have, but that they are. They're beautifully designed that way, and they see the world a lot differently than ours. So if you have that mindset going in,
Mhm.
you're not really going in to try to change the child. You're really going in with empathy and trying to really understand how that child processes, because each child in our class process the world a lot differently. So it makes it challenging but kind of fun, and we get our curiosity brains going and we try to figure out how are they really seeing this.
Well, I would think that if I was a parent or a grandparent who was raising a child with these neurodivergent children, if I'm saying this right, that I would really like a center that would want to encourage the kids as opposed to pointing out what was wrong. Because you're
Yes.
saying this isn't wrong. This is just how they were created.
Yes. And that's a lot different than what parents will hear in a lot of the clinics in the area and a lot of the schools in the area. Really, we support these children by focusing on their strengths. That's what we talk about. We talk about their strength. We're a strength-based approach. We really try to follow the child's lead with curiosity within the therapy. And we really try to presume competence. So we presume that they really understand what's going on. It's just too much for them to process.
Okay. That's absolutely great. So how is this different from other therapies and other preschool programs?
Okay, well, we actually are the first one in the state that's running. So we use a floor time model. It's called DIR floor time. It's a play therapy model. And it really focuses, and the foundation really of it is relationship based. So our goal is to really build relationships with the children and building relationships with the family. And through that connection, growth starts happening and development starts showing, right? So we have a developmental approach, which is a lot different than a behavioral approach or a compliance approach or trying to have positive behavior. That you'll hear that a lot in the schools. We have PBIS, things like that, where we really join the child in their world, and we use play and we use that connection of interaction with them and the other peers as really the foundation for their development and their growth.
You said something really interesting there, Bethany. You said that you were the only center in the state of Michigan that
Mhm.
deals with neurodivergent affirming therapy. Do the referring providers in the area know about this clinic?
Yes, they know about it, but unfortunately, it's not a billable service.
Okay.
So you're not going to see a lot of clinics that take this approach.
Okay.
But we have used this approach with our current staff and been teaching this for a while now, and all of our therapists are really trained in this model. And this, yes, is the first time. There are play therapy centers where you're kind of one-on-one, but this is the first preschool. They're always in a group, they're always together. They're a class, right? This is the first center that you'll see this.
That's absolutely great. And I saw something on your website that you have early start, use the Denver method. What is that about?
Yeah, the Early Start Denver model is kind of something that we look to support our program, and that focuses on teaching the kids in groups. So a lot of times kids will be taught therapy and some of the behavioral centers. They'll be taught one-on-one with a behavior technician, or they'll be with a parapro in a classroom, and the teacher will be teaching the whole kids, but the para will really be teaching the one child. We don't take that approach. We believe that children will always be in groups as they
Okay.
move through school. So we need to be teaching them, especially at this early age, in a preschool type setting, just like every other typical kiddo.
So you're just getting them prepared for public school, right? When they're,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah,
So this
we're
is
trying.
so with our program, we focus on grandparents, as I am
Yes.
a grandparent who's raising my granddaughter, and we have a lot of our colleagues who are raising children with autism. But so how can we think differently about our kiddos and about these behaviors?
Well, I love that because grandparents such a big influence in these children's lives. And really, when you start thinking about behaviors, you need to really start changing the way you think about that because really, behavior is communication. The child is doing something to communicate something to you. They're not doing it despite you. They're not doing it as defiance towards you. It's not that they don't want to please you. It's that they're communicating something that they can't communicate yet effectively. So what grandparents can really do is start changing their thoughts about, oh, this child is having behaviors versus thinking maybe what is this child saying? What does this child really need right now? What are they telling me that I'm not picking up on? We really believe language really matters and really thoughts are drive our language. So if we start thinking as behaviors as communication and we start using the thoughts of, oh, and saying they're acting out versus really saying, what are they trying to show me? Are they
Right.
overwhelmed right now? We can really start creating a really more calming and inviting environment for those kiddos, for your grandkids. And we really focus on not, so let's say you take your kiddo somewhere they've never gone before, and they see in your mind, oh, wow, are they going to be acting out? Are they going to have this bad behavior? And if you just start thinking and understanding them, you can really prepare them and teach them to manage those situations versus just tolerating really difficult situations, which really tolerating leads to a lot of anxiety. Versus
Right.
when you're teaching them to manage and you're learning to manage your own uncomfortability, that really provides us and them with empowerment. Like they can do it and we can do this.
So, for our audience at home, what Bethany is
Yeah.
saying very nicely is not only do they work with the kids, they train the grandparents as well. So it's a beautiful thing. And I would think that grandparents would need some training. And it's all how you look at this model and this wonderful child and where God has them in their development. And that's just so great because are you seeing a lot of grandparents so far in your classes that are
We
bringing their
have a
kids
lot
in?
of we have a lot of grandparents that provide rides for our children,
Okay.
and we actually our model is it's really expected that the parent or the grandparent comes into the classroom and gets parent coaching and parent training up to 2 hours a month. They can even come more than that. And our parent support groups invite parents and grandparents in to really try to understand this way of thinking. It can be a really stressful time when a child gets a diagnosis. Grandparents, and parents don't know what to do, but BME really wants to support support a lot of this stuff. So we really invite grandparents to stay for any training. We invite them into our support groups. We invite them. We just had a grandparent on our field trip. So then they can learn what the parents are learning and what we're teaching those kids in the class.
And it's absolutely great because I know every grandparent I know would love that support and that training because we're kind of lost out here at times. And
Right.
so what can grandparents do to support their families and the grandchildren?
Well, first of all, really, it's just understanding yourself first and really being able to model and present a calmness about you. Really, not, I think a lot of times we feel really uncomfortable inside. We have a lot of anxiety when maybe a grandchild's coming over and, oh, we don't know if they'll like what we have to eat or is the lights too bright? What is their, problem? But really modeling calmness, celebrating small things that the child can do. So
Awesome.
let's say they come over and they never want to try your cookie, but this time they touch the cookie. That's something to really celebrate. That means they feel comfortable, they feel loved, they feel seen, they feel welcomed. They don't feel pressure. So parents can really do that and they can really offer understanding. Really, I remember as a child going to my grandparents' house and it was so different than my parents, right? It just felt better, it felt calm. So, really, you can provide a really safe space without judgment. You can really learn them by observing with curiosity versus, wondering why they're being bad, but just understanding them by observing. Yeah, and you can always connect with us. So contact the Be Me Center. We can help support you through maybe talking to your children about our center or encouraging your children and your grandchildren's parents to visit our Be Me Center website, which is bemecenter.com. And another way that grandparents can support our current families or future families is going online to our website and donating to our scholarship fund. Our program
Awesome.
can be costly for a lot of our parents, and I know grandparents can really help support that. And so we
Absolutely.
would encourage you to donate to that fund.
But if there were physicians watching this podcast and folks that are a lot of pediatricians and what have you, or neurologists, they could send or recommend the Be Me Center for
Absolutely.
kids with autism, and they would fit right in and with the parents and the grandparents. And at this current time, there's no wait.
There is no wait list right now. We have
Okay.
morning and afternoon spots. We're hoping to launch a brand new classroom in the winter. So we'd welcome as many kiddos as we can.
Okay.
Yes, definitely no wait. We do have a neurologist who is referring children to us. Children and families are very happy about what's going on. If you go on our website right now, we just launched a page about impact stories. So our parents have written some information on how impactful it's been, and they're really thankful that they've been referred by people to our center.
That's absolutely terrific. So, and your website again is Be Me Center, BEME Center.com, right? So,
Yes, it
uh,
is. Yeah.
so in closing our time together, what is the last message you'd like these parents or grandparents to know about the Be Me Center and this wonderful program?
I just want the takeaway to be every child, no matter what, really deserves a place to be themselves. And they really need to be seen and celebrated for who they are and for us to really learn how to support them. And because that's really what we're all about.
Mhm.
And we really want to work together with physicians, with grandparents, with parents on really how to help every child to be me, right? To be them, who they were uniquely created to be.
I love that. And the other thing that I can't help but comment on is that Ward Church is offering this service to be a blessing to the community. And this is the only center of its kind in definitely Southeast Michigan at this time. And I just want to take my hat off to them because they have found a need that absolutely has to be addressed. I'm hearing about it in the grandparent community all the time. And Bethany Crane, I just love the work you're doing. And At the bottom of our screen, you'll be able to see the website address as well as the phone number of the BME Center. And you would not mind if our audience gives you a call and ask you any questions regarding the center and the wonderful work you're
No,
doing?
absolutely. I welcome all calls at all times. You can also come into Ward and we can set up a time to take a tour if you'd like to see the space. We have a lovely coffee shop there. We can sit and chat and have a warm beverage and just talk to you more about how we can maybe meet your needs.
And Ward Church, for those of you who don't know where it's located, it's at 4006 Mile Road in Northville, not far from 6 Mile and Haggerty. And they've got a wonderful complex there, and they're just wonderful folks at Ward Church. And you'll be blessed if you check this out. I know you'll absolutely love it. Bethany Crane, thank you so much for being our guest on It's a Grand Life. I hope you'll come back again and keep us updated on the changes that are happening at the BME Center. We love this stepping out in faith that you and Ward Church have done, and I can't wait to hear more stories about the awesome results you're having with these wonderful kids. Thank you for joining us today for It's a Grand Life. It's a Grand Life provides vital content, regulatory updates, and subject matter experts that are committed to supporting the 2.4 million kids and their caregivers from every neighborhood, every city, every tribe and territory nationwide. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts and leave a review. Every new subscriber and review helps us reach others that need assistance. As caregivers, we are united in purpose. We are driven by hope while providing strength for today and hope for tomorrow. We are truly making a difference while living the grand life. If you have a suggestion for a future episode, please reach out to us. But we'll see you next time for another It's a Grand Life. Thank you for joining us.